107.5 WGCI, the Shaz number one for hip hop and R&B. You know what it is, live with Kapone. And I have a special friend in here, man, my friend, Antwone Gabs, man. Antwone, it's been a while. What was the name of the record your record that, like, you had your breakout record? What was the name of it?
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
In the day, that dinosaur joint, it was called Walk.
There it is. Walk. I thought it was called Walk. I thought it was called Walk. Now, this is the thing, though, Antwone. You are actually here because you are we're gonna say it, you are a 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right, and you're currently going through the treatment for the second time because you beat it the first time, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. A lot of people don't know. I mean, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that men can get breast cancer, especially African American men.
That's right. It's 1% of men are impacted by this illness. It's not something that's talked about a lot, and because it's so rare, it's not a lot of case studies or information that doctors can really go on as far as a treatment plan. So it's very much so trial and error, but it is out there. I encourage men all over to definitely be proactive about your health as well. Check. Don't be afraid to say something if you feel something that you shouldn't be feeling. And your chest area, and I said I got breast cancer. Guys was like, "What you mean? You mean you got chest cancer? You can't have breast cancer." No,
Right.
It's breast cancer. So I encourage men to get checked up as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so with this journey and this whole cancer journey, I actually gonna bring some more people in here to talk about cancer and how it's affecting our community. What have you learned in this journey?
Man, bro. I've learned so much. Certain things I just never paid attention to. Like, we spend our whole lives saying doctors practice medicine and we don't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. Until you laying there and you like, wait a minute, y'all practice it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with the 1%. So I learned a lot. I was able to meet different researchers, scientists, nutritionalists, herbalists, different type of specialists, doctors that practice various specialties from oncology and different things. And I've been blessed to come across a plethora of information just across the whole landscape to be able to look at it from a holistic standpoint, man. Mm-hmm. It's really something that needs to be taken seriously. Like, the big question is what causes cancer? Where it could be anything that causes cancer. You know, a lot of us have habits that we engage in, whether it's on the diet side or what we drink, the environment, or even our thoughts. Like, I never paid attention when you're in the doctor's office and you look at the chart for the immune system. At the top of the chart, the first thing up there, it says emotional dialogue. Like, wow. Whoever thought that would be a part of your immune system? So it comes down to what type of conversations are we having with ourselves? Because that could affect your physical health. So thoughts are real things, and we got to start taking it seriously, man.
That's an interesting thing, and especially like let me get into this a little bit with you, Antwone. Do you feel like it was something that you was doing that probably contributed to you contracting breast cancer? You feel it was something, maybe your diet that you were maybe drinking, maybe what do you feel when you go back and look at it in hindsight? Because you said that before. You said something like that. You was like, yo, hey, I think that we have to be careful of what we're doing to ourselves. What do you think,
man?
And let's just keep it a buck, because let's keep it a buck. And my humble opinion, well, I have to say this: I was never a drinker. I was a drinker. I was never a drinker. A drinker would imply that, you know, occasional, socially. I was a drinker. I was looking for that reason to have a drink. Oh, I just got off work. I need a drink. Oh man, so and just hanging out, eating. I was Superman. I was the prototype of almost every man out here. We feel like we Superman. Man,
I can do this, I can do that, and I can eat this, I can drink that, I can have this, and if something happened, I'm going to just take a pill for 3 days, and I'm going to be back 100%, and then I can go back to being Superman again. I ate whatever. I didn't give much. The only thing I didn't eat was pork.
That's religious beliefs.
I was religious belief, but outside of that, come on with it. Let me get a plate. Let me get 2 plates. at the point of time of my diagnosis, I was 260 pounds.
Wow.
I was stage 3 breast cancer, 260 pounds. And when you talk about what some of the things I learned, I talked to a scientist at University of Chicago when I was getting footage, and she shared with me that fatty tissue or fat cells in our bodies feed estrogen, which feeds cancer. So the more the more overweight a person is, it makes us more vulnerable to cancer.
Wow, this is just, it's amazing, because that's the thing. What you're saying is real. This is a person that, I mean, ideally, we pretty much mirror the same lifestyle in a way.
Yeah.
And you eat what you want to eat, and I reason my own bad habits that I have. And even the fact of just going out, having a good time, those different things.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that your story is so inspiring because it mirrors a lot of brothers that are going through now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a breast cancer situation. It could be something else cancer. We both lost a friend. Shout out to him, Timbuktu,
Yes,
from cancer.
Much love. Love Tim.
And that came in his message to everybody, and I think that's the same one that you're saying, is that you have to go get checked out. What made you go get checked out?
Man, what made me get checked out was that I started noticing that religiously, whenever I got off the treadmill, I had a brown stain on the left side of my t-shirt. And I used to always work out with a coworker, and she drank coffee like coffee was water. She didn't drink regular. She didn't. So I would think, that term, say it, don't spray it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first couple of times I was like, oh, well, maybe somehow some coffee made it from out of her mouth to my shirt. But then what about the times I was in there by myself? So then I was like, I did what everybody does. I went to Google. What does it mean, brown stain, right? And, you could look up anything on Google. What happens if I wear a gray hat for 3 days? That means you got cancer, man.
Right.
So I looked that up on Google, and it said, brown fluid coming out your chest is a sign of cancer. So, I was dramatic. I went. I knew that the wife got home about 4:30. I was laying in front of the door at 4:25 when she came in. She opened the door. I let her push the door on me. I'm crying like, oh, baby, I got cancer. But then the doctor was like, don't go to Google. Don't worry. We're going to keep an eye on it. Your body is creating multiple cysts. We don't know why, but it's too many for me to tell you how many it is. We're going to keep an eye on it. They gave me antibiotics, and we kept monitoring it like that. And there we were a year later. After leaving the studio, the whole left side of my shirt was soaked. I went to the bathroom to look at it. It was a stain, huge, the whole length of my shirt. And fluid was just shooting out like a water gun. And I went to the emergency room, and we were keeping an eye on stage 1 and 2. And at the time I went, at that point, I was stage 3.
Wow. So so what would be your advice about, just in general, what you this whole process? What would you be your advice if you talking to, we know it's gonna be thousands of people to see these videos? What would you tell people?
Self-care is the best healthcare. I call my book "Cancer Saved My Life" for the reason that it's 3 levels of change, and unfortunately, people only change on the 3rd level. The first level of change is when we know enough to be able to change. So we know certain things are unhealthy for us, right? But we still do it. So then the question becomes, on the 2nd level, do I care enough to want to change? Then rarely we even change there. We stall some more. And then we have that uncomfortable conversation with a doctor, or we have some uncomfortable discovery like I did, and it forces us to change. Mm-hmm. And now we're at the last level of change, is when we hurt enough to where we have to change. So I would encourage everybody to empower yourself and make a change when you know enough to be able to change. Just empower yourself to make a change, because cancer is saving my life, though. But I want to raise my voice to empower people to save their own life. I don't want to see cancer save nobody else's life, man. Right. I want to see people save their own life. I'm tired of watching people die and hurt in real time. Mm-hmm. So if I got to be an open book to help that, then so be it.
Man, it's an amazing story. I remember the first time when I heard about it, it's like, Twan's sick. I was like, what? And he got breast cancer. I was like, what?
Crazy.
What? And it just like, And the great thing about it though, Twine, and that's why I commend you on, is the fact that you're an open book and you understood the people. Because sometimes I wonder, like, do people get tired of talking about what's going on? You trying to live through it and get through the space. But anytime I've ever said anything to you about it, or you open book, bang, you start talking. I think that's the beautiful thing in what's going on with you right now. Now you're actually doing some stuff right now for yourself, to, you know, as far as treatment and you having some type of event to raise money for treatment. What's going on with that?
We're doing an event at the Promontory October 20th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's called the Heal Thyself Fundraiser, and it's a celebration of holistic health. And I've invited out all the naturopath holistic doctors that I've been blessed to work with over the years. I have a meditation specialist coming out. I have a chiropractor that practices the art of naprapathy, which is the art of manipulating bone and muscle tissue to activate the body's natural healing powers. It's a whole panel of different holistic professionals, and these people are making themselves available to have conversations on the spot with individuals that are curious, do free consultations. We'll have herbs and different things available. I have a vegan and raw food nutritionist that's going to come prepare meals for people to give away samples for free, and we're going to have some fun also. I'm going to perform with Shantae Savage with the band, Terry Hunter. A lot of people are going to be there to support, and we're raising money to help me pay for these treatments. So it's not a charge to get in, but we're encouraging everybody to make a donation. We also have a GoFundMe. We're accepting funds through that, and people can learn more about that by going to cancersavemylife.me. Yep. You can learn more about the event and all the fundraising efforts at cancersavemylife.me.
That's dope. Yeah, guys, gotta support it. And I, you know, this cancer has affected my life and through family members, friends, and so I'm gonna be doing some more stuff. I'm gonna be definitely doing some more stuff, because it's something, to me, it's something that God put on my heart to just kind of like, yo, I gotta do something to figure out how to use my voice to help ignite people to want to do something about it, right? Yeah. Because to me, it's weird. And I remember, and this is the thing where I was having a conversation with someone I know that's in the medical field, and I remember when somebody got cancer, it was like, whoa, it was like this thing, right? Like it was like one out of
like
whatever.
A death wish.
It wasn't, but it wasn't. I don't even want to say it was a death wish. It was more like it didn't happen a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, every time you hear about somebody passing away in that manner, it has to do with cancer. And it has to do with something that we're eating. It has to do something with something that's going on. And I feel like it just, I have to do something, my part, in at least warning or helping people get more knowledge.
You said something that was real interesting when you talked about your body's reacting differently to foods. I was reading an interesting article that said from the time we're born, every 10 years our body loses 10% of its ability to absorb all the nutrients and vitamins in food. Mm-hmm. And that's if we're eating a completely healthy diet. So at age 10, the most you could get is 90% of the nutritional value of food. At age 20, the most you could get is 80. So when we're in our 30s and 40s, the most we could get is 60 to 70%. And that's if we're eating a completely nutritional diet. But who doing that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what you said about your body reacting right away to what you eat, man, I go through that right now. Like I'm that times 10. If I eat something, I'll tell you 10 minutes what's gonna happen for the next few days. I pretty much know.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. I'm gonna wrap it up here, but I definitely meditation, guys. That's a real thing. Like I didn't know. Somebody told me that, like, yo, you should try to meditate, and I wouldn't say that I'm as frequent with it as I would like to be, but when I do use it, it works. You know what I mean? And along with prayer and that, but I do the meditation when I sleep. It's a YouTube thing that you can do. But I really appreciate you sharing your story. One more time for the people in the back row that didn't hear it. How do they get in tune with what's going on with you?
Man, you can find out all the information about the event we're doing in Promontory October 20th and all the fundraising efforts. If you can give, please give. It's a serious matter. I know a lot of people see me moving around in Chicago and doing different things, and it's hard to believe I'm sick. I urge you everyone, to not misunderstand my strength. I just refuse to let something put me in a damper and allow me to misrepresent the energy that I have. But you could go to cancersavemylife.me. That's cancersavemylife.me.
There it is, man. It's GCI.